In this video, we're going to learn how to streak out E. coli on an agar plate. So here, I have a package of sterile disposable inoculation loops. So before reaching into that, I'm going to ethanol my hands away from the flame, obviously. And I'll actually slide a tube rack on over here. I have just DH5 alpha in glycerol stock that I just removed from the -80-degree freezer. So before reaching into here, I'll actually crack this top open because that's actually going to be a little bit difficult to negotiate one-handed. Re-ethanol my hands. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to reach into the bag and grab an inoculation loop. I'm going to do this two ways. First, pretty simple, just so dab it in there. You really don't need to take very many cells. Honestly, you just need to touch, really barely just need to touch the surface of your glycerol. You can scoop out a chunk if you want, but that's not necessary. Okay, and I'm going to put that back in the tube. There we are. Yeah, because that's bacteria, so even just by touching the glycerol, you're going to pick up a couple thousand cells. So I'll set the lid behind the flame. Okay, so first I'm not even going to bother with a three-phase streak, but first I'll start by streaking really densely here to spread out my material. And then this second time, I'm just going to pass through the first phase once. I'm not really doing a three-phase streak because if I were, I'd re-sterilize my my inoculation loop, or I'd get a new inoculation loop between. I'm just relying on dilution by streaking, and we'll see how that works, and we'll compare that with an actual three-phase streak. Okay, so now I'm going to throw this inoculation loop away. Okay, so that, not a three-phase streak. This time, I'm actually going to do a three-phase streak. I'll take one inoculation loop. Actually, you know what? I'll do the three-phase streak with a reusable inoculation loop. You could do it with one of these as well. Okay, so first I'm going to heat that up. Get it nice and red hot. Come on. There we go. Okay, and obviously because that'll kill all my bacteria, I'm just going to cool that in the agar really well, actually. Okay, there we go. First I'll dig that in there, pick out some DH5 alpha. And it's worth noting that when I'm spreading this on the plate, I'm not pushing down at all. I'm being very gentle. I'm really just letting the weight of the inoculation loop hold it down. Otherwise, you risk tearing your agar. Okay, so that's the first phase. Now I'm going to sterilize it again. The idea of the three-phase streak is to dilute your bacteria to the point where you're getting single colonies. Okay, so again, I'm going to plunge that into the bacteria in an area, or into the agar in an area where there aren't any bacteria. And now I'm going to start in my first phase, which is down here. Remember, my first phase goes like that. I'm going to start in that first phase. I'm going to be spreading bacteria out onto the clean part of the plate. I'll pass into my first phase a couple times, and then I'll just go up and down like that a few times. Again, I'll sterilize my loop. Ironically, I'm doing this as a demonstration right now, but I think if I weren't talking and trying to reach around the camera, this would be a much prettier three-phase streak tomorrow, but we will see when we get there. Okay, so recall our first phase is there, our second phase is there. Now we're going to dilute our bacteria again, plunge that into the agar to cool it down, and again just streaking back and forth. And I'm going to stop before I get to the first phase, so I'll go to about there. Okay. And I'm going to sterilize this just so that I'm not tossing it back in with my stuff while it's got bacteria on it. And I will take a look at this at these two tomorrow. So DH5 alpha, DH5 alpha, and then 3-phase. Okay. Well, let's check those out tomorrow. As you can see, I actually have plenty of colonies available for use here with my plate, on which I did not do the 3-phase streak. So this is where I first spread out the bacteria, and then I just lifted up my inoculation loop, spread there a couple times, and then lifted up my inoculation loop and went back and forth here. And as you can see, there are plenty, I don't know if that is visible in the video, but there are plenty of colonies available for use here. I have plenty of dispersion, so it wasn't necessary to sterilize my inoculation loop between, and that saves time. The 3-phase streak actually gave me far fewer colonies available for use, so it's really up to you what you do. I think that a lot of hardcore microbiologists will tell you that you always want to do a 3-phase streak, but as you can see, that's not entirely necessary.